Okay, welcome back to another one of our Dream Team 2021 design contest streams, and we're looking at the final course I've got on my list for the moment, which is the Lowcountry Yacht Club by bennyk315. Now, Benny's been involved in a number of contests recently. He kind of made his he came to TGC Tours quite late, and I remember reviewing his first course that he put on the database, which was the Burning Bridges ones. I'm thinking the greens were really interesting. They were really big, bold, winged foot style greens, and they caught my attention pretty quickly. So that's kind of his normal style, I guess, like clean parkland, bold greens. It's interesting to see him move slightly away from that with this, which looks like a more Pete Dye influenced course. This is one of those work in progresses that I didn't actually follow as closely as some of the others. I don't know, I kind of missed a lot of the updates when they came through, and it looks pretty solid. So what tees would you want to be judged from? Gold tees, no further conditions, nothing specific, but routing course around the surrounding neighbourhoods, similar to like Hilton Head. Okay, so we're kind of looking Harbour Town sort of area. Tougher CC, elite depending on conditions. Atlantic Dunes was the main inspiration. Oh, okay. Sort of course I really enjoy playing. Like Lowcountry, I think is a great area for courses. There's that Southern Carolina area. Let's go pin 4. Haven't done that in a while. Yeah, get into this. So Benny, I think, has just recently run the Parkland contest that was like an unofficial contest on TGC Tours, which produced a number of good courses. Then has also been involved in National Treasure. I think he drew Turkey, the Royal, I want to say Royal Pines was his. And then, like I say, Burning Bridges were the one that I really remember. So yeah, really cool, clean look off the tee, and definitely gives that low country vibe of just like limited land movement, but kind of expecting Pete Dye sort of course with lots of width, like lots of angles and things like that. Bunkers right where you don't want them to be. Water in play, I would anticipate as well. Now I know that some people did give him quite a bit of feedback on different things, so I just can't really remember what it was, which is quite nice when it comes to doing these reviews, and you know you're not looking out for specific things. The waterways are very much as I would expect of this sort of a course. Hey Zach, welcome back. Beach area, and I love the bunker cut into there. That works nicely. Tree lined, got some palms, we've got some of the tropical trees and things. And you said like housing areas as well. Oh yeah. We've got quite an expansive routing. As mentioned, there's these little subdivisions and things. Love this kind of plot. Like, really cool. Can see the waste areas from the sky. You can see the little housing areas. Like this does feel like that sort of vibe has been absolutely nailed. And yeah, it's going to be manufactured in places, as you can see with that little pool area. But I think that's absolutely fine. Really interested to see how this one plays. Definitely a step away from his usual, I would say. Although he can pull this off. He's done a Carolina course before, and I can't remember. Oh, there's all this. So we've got the grasses coming out here. Nice. Okay. I'm looking forward to giving this one a play. Alright, so, and we've got absolutely zero wind, which is interesting. Hey, Maddie. You've missed a couple of playthroughs today. Alright, so first hole, we can hit 3-wood, like very Dye-ish with the bunkering. We can hit driver, but it gets progressively narrower. Do we want to hit driver and have a flop shot into that? I suspect maybe not. Done this bunker pretty nicely. It's not as flat as it could be. So like you can see this area, it's kind of reaching up a little bit. We can get there. No, so the only other one I played was Fretnik's Royal Jahator, which I really enjoyed. Okay, wind is slightly gusting. I think the planting's really good. Like, definitely getting that vibe I would expect. It fits nicely. I'm liking this a lot. I think we will go for driver, why not? I would like to see a little more of that bunker off the tee. I feel like we could have made it visible, we just need to drop the land here. So like, we're down 5, down 5, down 4, down 3, so it's like this 2 feet change here. If we lowered this by 2 feet, I suspect we haven't because of the water. Yeah. So that's what's causing this issue, is because the bunker, this part of the fairway is actually lower than the water here. So that's where the bunkers become invisible. So everything works logically apart from that one part. So either raising up the bunker or just lowering the land a little bit in front would be good. Yeah, loads of good designers for sure. Right, see what we can do. That I felt, that's all me. Oh, get a bounce off the car path and into the bunker. Whee! I don't think that's too bad. I like the way he's done use those grasses. That's worked out nicely. Not going to carry? Maybe. Really hard to tell. Let's just make sure we get there. Is there real danger being long? Green's quite compartmentalised. Like, it's basically just 4 distinct plateaus. I might like to... it'd be interesting to see how this meshes with other greens. It's not my favourite style of green, but it's used as one of a bunch, and it can work really well. Oh, that slow's just killed me. And all the way into the bunker. Love that. Okay, so he's splined his bunkers so that he can do that sort of little trick, which I think worked really brilliant. Like, that's what that shot deserved. Very happy with that. Not everyone will be, but I really appreciate that. Nearly got it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the kind of dye-ish style, isn't it? I don't know that they're like... so with these bunkers, a few of the fingers have gotten a little narrow, which is why it's looking just a... like, it's just a touch small from this side, which is why it's struggling to render a touch. Yeah. I'm trying to work out if I love the textures or not. I feel like the fairway's just a little indistinguishable from the heavy rough. I might like it to be a little bit... I don't know. Water down the right is cool. That's very much in play. Driver is doable, and will probably bring the green... I love the green side. Absolutely love it. I think this back slope could have been toned down a bit, but... and the little retaining wall bunker works really nicely. These bunkers with the planting creeping into them is great. Yeah. I think you've nailed the environment work. Yeah, and I had an issue with them on there as well, so that makes sense. Little partial driver I think works quite nicely. I mean, really capture the environment. Love the little glimpse of the house. Yeah, I think this is probably what we want. Yeah, I can see. I think you would... to be honest, if it's not planting and things... oh, damn it, get over. If it's not planted, it's generally fairway, so I think... I'll reserve judgment for the moment. I'm glad you can make it for the stream, Benny. Arms are tough to pull off, but I think they fit really well here. This is the environment I expect. I like that you've done really well to make the pines pretty dense, and like it can be very difficult to have these sorts of... I think these ones work a little less well, and then we've obviously got the tropical trees behind, so we do have quite a mix when we start really scrutinising it. But yeah, green side's class. Really enjoy that. And like the little sunken palms look great as well. They really add to it. And the other thing I'm really enjoying is these holes, like these types of holes really make me think of this sort of area where it feels entirely in its own environment. Like you're just going on a little journey, you'll come back to the clubhouse eventually, but for the moment, like whatever happens, happens. I mean, there's There's a tough drive. It's asking for a little bit of a draw if we can. I feel like I want to. I do have a bit of an issue with the runoff here, because we're running off probably off the fairway and into heavy rough as well. I would like to see a bit more fairway, or just bring, to be honest, actually the way to play this is probably bring the green a little bit further away, so that you've got more fairway runoff. Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, the drive works really well. And the green just needs, the green complex needs just a little more space, or not to do a runoff here at all. Either or would have worked better. But I love the framing of this drive and just like the super tree line denseness. Light and shadow works really nicely as well. Like just getting little glimpses of light here and then we're in shadow there, but it's not too dark. Like this stuff is hard to pull off. That is probably the shot to play. I think bunker shaping, you've got a proper mix. Love these big pan bunkers. I think those are done really, really well. Benny is an alternate, I think, for red. And based on the first few holes, I think he's got a very good chance of getting in. Yeah, I don't love this runoff. I think it's probably a little bit severe with how much it comes in. I'd probably have started it about here. To be honest, actually, I'd probably not have had a runoff and tucked a pin in the corner here. Instead, I think that would work better and make you really take on the water as well. Yeah, he's done a really good job with it. That felt fast. Hoping the loft on it means it's safe. Yeah, we're okay. The little glimpses of houses through the trees are really good as well. And the mulch texture work, I think, works really nicely too. Yeah, I'm loving this. No, it's not. This is the alts get into the contest if someone from the main 15 don't complete. And then the captain chooses from his squad. Each side had 5 alternates. All of whom I think look like they're going to, almost all of them look like they're going to finish. We've got one doubt, I think, that might not. But there's definitely going to be some DNFs from the main squads, so these guys will be the pool of replacements, basically. Hey, drivable 4. There's enough danger on the drive. Does definitely make me... Yeah, but I mean, it was maybe different contest. Interesting green, where we've got enough danger on it. Okay, so we're either... No laying up, thanks Matty. Yeah, I'm not intending to. I'm hoping that gets a little kick left, but I feel like it's going right, which is what it deserves. We do have some texturing issues with this bunker, so just the light rough kind of wrapping in and around isn't ideal. I guess this is because this one's done with shapes, whereas the previous ones were splines. Not a good place to have left myself. But that'll do. Yeah, it's solid drivable par 4. Probably like the waters come in play a little bit more, but actually for the CC difficulty you're going for, I think it works really well. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We drafted 15 aside, so that's already judges judging 30 courses. If we then do another 10, we've got to have enough for it. It's not like a normal contest where someone dropping out isn't really a big deal because the field just gets smaller. With this, if someone drops out, that affects the whole team. So we need a pool of people to choose from. but equally you got to stop somewhere. When we had 60 odd sign up, we needed to cut that pretty quickly. This is tough. I'd like to see the land here a little flatter so that we can land short and roll on. It's asking for a very precise shot from 200 yards, but this is the toughest pin on this green by some distance. I do like the bunker layering. I think you can probably raise this whole area up, and that would make this a little easier. Again, like the little environment this sits in, really cool. I don't know. These bushes kind of down here are really jarring my eye. Considering how well planted it is over here, I'd like a little bit of the same over here. This is definitely too much club. Keeping a little loft on it means that it's not too disastrous. I have a real gap in my bag around the 200 mark. You'll take that though. I really like the waste bunker in front, and like actually, just think the planting is really authentic. Yeah, again, I think you could be doing a little better checking for like these little bits, which I'm guessing are auto-gen. Got a random gorse bush. I don't know. I think those bits, either they're auto-gen or they kind of look enough like it that they're making me think they are. Either way, it's probably avoidable. I don't think it's auto-gen. I think in which case it could just be tied in with the environment a little bit better. Hey, we got a chip in. Because this planting is awesome. Would love more of that. Yeah, same here. Like this. Just a bit curious because... No, I don't mean the pines. I meant the bushes underneath the pines. So this is kind of blocking our view of the waterway, which I don't really understand as a decision because I'd love to see that. So like, if we move just this way, like that's a better sight line. And it equally doesn't really blend in with any other planting we've got here, so I don't really understand why there's just that one bit there. So it's kind of the same thing, like just the planting under the trees I'm not quite getting. I think it can look really good, but at times it isn't quite stacking up. Then these two little bushes, I think, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, these two kind of standing out as well. I think just lose them in that case and just have nothing under them in odd spots as you've done up here. Works better. Again, Jay. Ooh, long par 4 with a pin that is really tucked. You have my attention. And a tight fairway, so we're never laying up on this, so you've got to take on the drive. The CC, I'd probably want a slightly wider landing area. I mean, framing off the tee is so good. The bunkers sit really nicely. I'd just allow a bit more space out left. They do. Yeah, the textures are warming on me. I think the reason they work, actually, is because you've wrapped them so tightly to the bunkers, so the contrast is definitely popping. Yeah, and then when we have that fairway then running off as like a hog's back, and we're this long, and we've got a tight landing zone, and then the green runs away, I'm all for like the odd difficult hole for sure, but I think we got a bit too much working with this one, probably. I almost feel like this is a short par 5, frankly. Especially with the road there. Please tell me the road's not out of bounds. The road's out of bounds. This is a par 5. Or rather, I think it should be. Well, we don't want to go out of bounds, so we're going to end up short rather than long. Now, I do think we can use... Oh, no, don't be that guy, Pithy. Par does matter, whatever people tell you. I love the green. Yeah, Probably, yeah. I think what I'd have loved to have seen this be is just like 30 yards longer and make it a par 5, and then I think that's an awesome, awesome hole. That guy is not right. We can debate. Oh, I've not even hit it. Yeah, that makes sense. I do like the gorse here. Not sure how I feel about the kicker slope, because it's really preventing me to get to this back pin. Okay, makes sense. We'll try and work it in just for fun. Skinny's been moaning at me to do this more anyway. Love the waist bunker, I think that works really nicely. Real sense of scale. It actually looks way longer than 200 yards. Sense of scale with the tall pines is brilliant. I think I'd prefer the hole without the back bunkers and have another one of these low waist bunkers, because these have been a nightmare to sculpt and try to keep low. I don't think they're really adding anything. In fact, this back one's kind of dipping down again as well. Actually, if you dropped it down and done one of these bunkers at the back, I'd have been... I get why you didn't, because people like to see hazards, but for this hole, that'd work well. Come on. It is a really good look. I'm really enjoying the course. I've not even hit that one either. Damn it. Very much a dangerous drive. I don't have a ton to say. Love the little bridge, that fits really nicely. I guess the other aspect is, if the previous one were a par 5, it's basically the same green complex as the other par 4 that we've just played. So it kind of feels like the same approach, and the one thing I definitely would have done with these two is changed where one of the pins was. So we've got this is the exact same pin as we've just had on 6. And given how you have to get at that pin by using that funnel slope, I would have definitely made sure if I've got the pin on 6 on this one, let's have the pin on 8 here, so it definitely feels different. Really like the backdrop again. There's a good variety of little layup zones. That's going to be too much. Go on, hit the slope and come down. Oh, it's trying. It's really trying. That stupid game. So close to a tap-in eagle. And instead we make a par. Fun approach again. I kind of just wish we hadn't had basically the same one 2 holes before. That just dilutes the effectiveness of that. Whereas you're going to have that one approach twice over 72 holes in a tournament. We just make sure it's in different rounds. That makes life... It just makes it feel a lot more varied. Triple tiered green makes sense here. Quite a long hole to do this on. I might have done it on a shorter hole. Again, the look is great. Like, I love how you've broken up the land just in front of the tee with that little bushy area. I thought I was going to hate a lot of these bushes planted very densely along the sides of the waterways, but I think they work really well. Oh, that's partly me, partly... Oh, we're out of bounds. Fair enough. Yeah, it's partly me, partly the game not picking up my controller again. It's fine. Yeah, I absolutely was. That would not have been a good. That would not have been a good recovery shot. Love this green sight again. I think your green sight's been awesome. Planting's so good. Ah. I do think you'd gain a little by having the edges of your greens not run off, but actually if you miss the green, have it. So like the elevation change from here on that tier to here is about right, but if you kept it flat to the edge and kept more pinnable area, and then really dropped it off, I think you'd gain a lot, because if we roll off, just off the green, rolling down to here would make life a lot more difficult. Yeah, it is. It is. Right. I mean, they have at least played differently. I mean, they've kind of been long clubs every time, but apart from this one was an 8-iron, I think I just pushed. But yeah, I think we can vary pin positions a little more. Make that 5, Maddie. One of those things that once you notice it, you just won't stop noticing it. Kind of feeling the same here, because if we are rolling off that green, we're only going to stop here with how steep this fairway is. It's not steep enough to keep the ball carrying down here. How you want it to play is if you go long, you end up kind of down here and have that tricky pitch. The way you want to do it is drop the land more when it goes off the green, because it will roll off the green pretty quickly based on red slopes. It's keeping it rolling once it hits the fairway that's the trickier part. Again, green sight is really good. Like, love the little environment. And I'm glad you mentioned that on the judging notes, because I think it works really well. Hey, Charlie. I mean, difficult drive. This is the reason why I find these textures tricky, because I can't tell where the fairway stops. It's here, but there's absolutely no way to know that. Now, as is, I don't think we're ever hitting driver on this hole anyway. And I just want to hit a 3-wood to the apex of the corner. But the drives aren't. You know, we've now got a long iron into a back pin again. So, yeah. Yeah, no worries. I am really enjoying the hole designs though. I think the tee shots have generally been very good. And like they've felt varied as well. Now hit that slope and roll down. Love that. That's the way I wanted that shot to play. That's a fun way of accessing a back pin. Green's really interesting. I don't know about the green shape diving in with these. If we're cutting a green over this slope, we can keep the shape more straightforward and bump it in a little bit. Little fence by the road, lovely little touch. The little bridges, like, authenticity here is great. This plant I would not have used. It's just super, super bright. And it really sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm guessing you'd have probably wanted to do a bit more grass work out further out as well, if meter had allowed. Again, really like the look. It's an absolute bastard of a pin that I don't think we've got hope in hell of accessing. But yeah, I don't think this is a CC pin. But that's okay. The green site looks great. Well, I can't hit that any better. I think that's the only way we're stopping it remotely close on that one. which is fine. I can imagine that downwind causing people an awful lot of issues. I do love the look over the waterway. That's like a little bit of openness is very welcome. Oh, no worries. You can catch up on VODs or they'll go to YouTube. We've had played Fretinix, Royal Jahator, then we've had Granger's Cerro Torre. Again, loving the planting down here. Yeah, I'm guessing you'd want us to do some stuff underneath the trees, have meter allowed, that kind of figures. Does look a touch barren there. Why would we not go for driver down here? I don't feel like there's a real reason. Probably still getting a full wedge in. Cool. Yeah, I guess so. Well, I mean, I can't remember what pin set I'm playing, but it might just be that this one happens to have more than others. Fun little drive, and I've left myself a little pitch shot, which, yeah, it's challenging. There we go. Such a shame with the meter, because I think the planting you have done under the pines, when you've done it, looks really, really good. But hey, we roll with the punches, and I'm sure there's probably areas somewhere you could have been a bit more efficient, like maybe thinning out some of these pines a little bit. Some of these ones, I remember being like this tall, thin one, is really meter intensive. I can't say I love this pin like this close to a consistent slope. It's fine, it's totally legal, but we can do the we can make it play the same, just in a slightly different way. Ah, that's all me. Am I going to hit? Oh no, at least we didn't hit the car path. Well, now we're pitching directly towards that runoff, and we're probably going down it. I can't do much better from that. It is, it's really good. That is a par save and a half. Happy with that. I think the thing I haven't really mentioned is like the tree choices are absolutely on point. Slightly smaller green works well. Yeah, this sort of back bunker I'm really happy with you doing. I think would have done that a bit more on a couple of others, just particularly that par 3. I think we probably could have done. It's a pretty drive, but I think we probably could have done a bit more protecting the drive. I guess there's the waterway pretty close, but might have liked the fairway to be cut a little closer to the waterway and give a bit more width. So like the more we play close to the waterway, the better angle we get into that pin, things like that. Just didn't really feel in danger on that. That did not go as far as I thought it would do. And that went a bit further. Oh well. Another really good hole though. Like, yeah, love this. The little fence work. Like, stuff like that really ties it all together. It seems like a silly thing to highlight, but it would be very easy not to do that. Okay, and we go out to the beach for the closing stretch, which is a good move. Don't love the cart path crossing the fairway, but I also don't really know what else you'd do. Does it need to come up this way? I'd have probably just lost this entire cart path this side. Because you've got it running down here. It does, it really does. No, having a cart path totally makes sense on this course. try to avoid it crossing fairways if we can. And it's exactly the sort of course that would have a cart path, so all on board with that. Yeah. I gotcha. That's a dreadful shot. Thank you. Play for a chip. I think your bunkers have been very, very good in parts. Some of them a little less good. I think some of these ones where it's more like the standard bunkers, I've really liked the low pan bunkers. Standard ones, it can kind of take or leave. Some of them look good. This one's sitting really nicely. This one a little less so. This one a little less so. It's tricky when you're working with such low elevation, which is why they tend to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go this way. Use our slope to bring it back round. Whee! Hey, 3 holes left. Hopefully going pretty close to the ocean now. Okay, Lighthouse, little marina. Fun. Another drivable par 4. I can't say I love the trees here blocking our view of the water that's in play. I feel like that's just a bit of a no. Like the pan bunker, I think you could have done a few more of these, but I like that you use them sparingly as well, so I'm okay with that. Let's go see it a bit closer. I think we could. But like, this is the sort of course that would have them, and it does make sense where it is, I guess. But yeah, you definitely want that to be visible. Yeah, same comment with the can see why the cart path is there. To be honest, I'd probably split the fairway if you're going to use a cart path and split it somewhere where no one's ever going to need it. So probably cross your cart path somewhere up here. Because I get why you're not putting the cart path down this side. I get why you're putting it down here. Both of those make sense. But let's split the fairway somewhere about here. Run the cart path across so it's not going across fairway. This is a little blinding, and I might like it's a touch empty. I might like a little planting here. Not the best tee shot I've ever hit, but it really is. I absolutely nailed the realism. This is a cool green complex. So we really wanted to be coming at it from the left, and I should have looked and didn't. Try and manufacture something. Yeah. No, as in I know they do. I just don't think it's a good thing to do in real life either. Oh. So we managed that. Low bridge works really nicely. Planting just these little bits of planting where it's these low bushy kind of tropical plant areas are really cool. Okay, 18th hole. We have a pretty tight drive. It is, yeah. This is the last one I've got actually on my list. Yeah, I'd probably go pan bunker again because we've got the land going up to here and then down back to the fairway. I think your problem again is like, yeah, we're trying to fit bunkers and then fairway, and you're just working with such little elevation that you can't really get away with this sort of thing. It's really good. But you can't send him your course file, as you well know. Well, we're going to take this on. Great look off the tee. End up on a little bit of an upslope, and I mean Wayne's not going to enjoy that tree, but doesn't matter, it's not in play. That's gone so high. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's typical of the area. Kind of wish again you'd lost the back bunkers. I think when you've tried to use back bunkers, they generally, for me, haven't really worked because they just don't really. On a course like this, where the bunkers are typically low profile and go down, back bunkers where they're jacked up a little bit look really out of place. So, but here you've got a water hazard right behind. Like, let's tuck the green back a little bit further. Have water long. And I think this is and then that's a more aesthetically pleasing hole, and you've got a really good strategic feature in play. I think you could then also allow a little bit of fairway, shunt your green back a little bit, but keep roughly the same. Land just behind the bunker and roll on. So I think we've kind of missed that. We've got a lot of bunkers tucked very close to greens, but we could occasionally use like the odd par 5 or something where you can just run a ball or land a ball just behind a bunker to run it onto a green. There we go. I mean, what a fun round. That's what I've loved with the past couple of years of Dream Team and CC contests and things when I've done these playthroughs. The thing I love is the courses that kind of surprise you a little bit. So like, this is not a typical Benny course, and yet it's really, really flipping good. The environment is absolutely nailed in a way I didn't like. I know you can do environment work, but that's the best environment you've put together by some distance. I thought the holes were really thought-provoking. The greens were good, and for the most part, like the understated element of them were great. A few things I might have changed. Like I think the balance of pins, as we kind of picked up on midway through the front 9, would have probably changed. A couple of the par 3s asked for very, very exacting shots, which I'm not totally against, but again, I think that might be a pin issue of like, let's make sure we're not kind of screwing everyone over on the par 3s on one particular round. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Just not a ton to critique. I think the back bunkers and occasional bits of sculpting occasionally put us a little closer to the water hazards that you had, but awesome, awesome stuff. I'd be stunned if this one doesn't make it into the main field. I think it's a great course. Right, I'm going to cut the stream, and then I'll be right back and we'll do a little bit of design for a little bit. See you shortly.